Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are reading through Exodus 28 to 29. And there's a lot of detail here. There's a lot of detail of everything to do with the temple, the priestly garments, and sometimes it's hard to read through all of that because we don't understand all of it. All of it reflects the spiritual world, and each thing represents something. And as I said before, there are those who can teach you that. I'm not going to, but there are those who can teach you what each of these symbols represents from the spiritual realm. And it is fascinating. Um, but there's only two that I really want to touch on today. And the first is the obvious one, the blood. And from the very beginning, God has treated the blood as sacred because the blood of an animal or of a person represents their life. So the command was that nobody was allowed to eat an animal with the blood. The blood had to be drained from the animal before it could be consumed. It was also just not acceptable to take the life of somebody, to spill their blood. It came with dire consequences. And here we're seeing that things became holy when sprinkled by the blood of the sacrifice. And the altar specifically became more holy, increased in holiness, the more sacrifices that were made upon it, the more the blood was spilt upon the altar. But everything that was to be considered holy and sacred concerning the temple had to be sprinkled by blood. Of course, we understand the sacrificial lamb, the blood that atones, is all a foreshadowing of what was going to happen with Jesus. And we understand that everything that is covered by the blood of Jesus is considered holy and is redeemed. Now, in the Old Testament, anything that is holy, that is touched by something that is dirty, that holy thing becomes corrupted, becomes dirty, except for one thing, the altar. And anything that touched the altar automatically became holy. And as I said, the more blood that was spilled upon it, the more it increased in holiness. And here it's the whole thing of understanding that in the New Testament, whatever is covered by the blood of Jesus Christ cannot be corrupted. It has been made holy. So because we have been made holy and redeemed by the blood of Jesus, then everything we touch becomes holy. In the Old Testament, if you were touched by a leper, you became unclean, and you had to seek to be clean. But when we touch a leper, that leper becomes clean. That's what happens in the New Testament, under the New Covenant. The other object is the bread. The bread plays a big role in everything to do with the sacrifices and such. And we're going to read that there had to be a fresh loaf that was brought before the Lord constantly. And Jesus refers to himself as this bread. He is the sustenance of our life. He is the bread of life. And so this bread again represents Jesus, represents who he has become for us, a foreshadowing of the sustenance that he would be becoming for us. So this is something that we need to hold on to and understand from this. But we live it out now. It's we can read what it looked physically in the Old Testament, but under the New Testament, it's something that we experience every day. We walk covered in the blood of Jesus, and we consume that bread of life every single day. We have to be sustained, to grow as we're supposed to grow. So something for you to consider and be engaged with. Don't go anywhere. without the awareness of Jesus today. Don't do anything without the awareness of Jesus today. Give him thanksgiving for the blood that has washed you, and partake in the bread. Yeah, eat well today, and you will do well. God bless.